Hello YouTubers, welcome back to another video at Mr. GDB Official. Today's video, we're going to talk about should you set up a vehicle recovery business in 2025. Going to give you my best input. Been doing this for about 15, 16 years.
Oh my God! Wow!
Which is quite a while, and a lot of people are always asking, Greg, what do I do? What do I do? Well, I'm going to try and cover a little bit of your questions in today's video. And if you like what you see, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching and enjoy the show. Right then, so today I'm going to be talking to you about setting up a vehicle recovery business in 2025. But first of all, don't forget to check on my website at www.gdbrescueandrecovery.co.uk/competitions to enter to win some Milwaukee items. Some competitions are ending in as little as just 3 days, so get on the website, check them out. So as you know, recovery doesn't pay very much, so I'm trying to do some competitions. Right then, so a lot of people ask about setting up a vehicle recovery business. What do I need? What truck do I have? What insurance do I need? Honestly, it's a hard industry. I'm going to put that out there right now. It is hard. It is not easy. But obviously, first things first, in my opinion, you need to look at insurance. So you can be looking at trucks, you can be saving up money, thinking, oh my God, I found the right truck that'll do me, or I found a nice trailer. Forget all of that. You need to look at insurance first, because that is what everybody struggles with. Even on renewals, even for me, it is a struggle on insurance, and it's very expensive. Just for me and Ryan, which is, it's not even really the best level of cover if I'm being brutally honest, but we're paying like £1,450 a month just for insurance with two of us. Yes, there's a few factors that put it up, such as being insured for over 7.5 ton, and then the next category I think was like over 13 ton because my vehicle's go up to 18 ton. So there is that obviously put it up. Again, regards to your insurances, they're going to ask you what you predict work-wise, such as how much accident work you get. Do you do breakdown work? Is it transport? Do you do mechanics? Long haul distance? Your radius? And then obviously it goes into like the nitty gritty bitty of insurance, like your goods in transit, public liability cover. If you ever store vehicles, you can obviously have the cover for customer cars and also personal possessions in the car. So insurance, in my opinion, is the hardest part of it. So what you want to do is probably get in touch with like a local broker and say that you're thinking of either setting up in vehicle recovery, vehicle transport, mechanics, and then basically talk to them about your requirements, because you don't want to get your heart set on setting up a vehicle recovery business and you can't get insured, especially if you're below 25. It's very hard to get motor trade insurance. So yeah, in a brief summary, get in touch with your local broker. There are obviously some big companies out there that advertise on the internet, so go on Google, type in motor trade insurance, try and ring up a handful of them, but what you'll find, there's only limited underwriters that actually underwrite that policy. So there's 1,000 brokers, but the people that physically insure you, there's not many in this industry. And even I'm struggling because it is so expensive and it's very frustrating. But it is what it is. You've got to have it. I do see people who have like a little 3.5 ton truck, like a Ford Transit, Mercedes Sprinter, a little Iveco Daily, and they'll insure it on Go Compare, carriage of own goods. But trust me, the day you get pulled is the day they will check and you will get shot for it, believe me. I was that person in my early stages. After like 2 years or 3 years of trading, I thought, I'm paying all this money, why not just go and Go Compare and insure it as a van? And then one time, there was two reasons. One, I got pulled by the police. Nothing happened of it, it was just like a general check. And they check your insurance to see what you're insured for. So they're not stupid. Like when you see these Uber drivers for food and fast food delivery, trust me, they will check. And the other reason, I then got my first contract, which I'll talk about that later on in the video, and they had to see the proof of my real proper insurance, and it paid off, and I got a contract, and that's what kind of got me and got my feet out there and kind of got me where I am today, I suppose, because I had that little boost by having a contract that literally landed straight in front of me, so that was good. Obviously moving forward throughout, so if you can get insurance, which is obviously great, you need to bear in mind the costings of your insurance. Vehicles. So the next thing you need to work out is what type of work stroke what type of vehicles do you like, do you want? So the problem even for me right now, when you see me on my own YouTube channel and in my Facebook pages and website, I'm still changing vehicles now. There is never really one vehicle does all, and this is quite a big thing you've got to bear in mind. So what type of work do you want? Is it transport? Do you want to just, you know, work certain fixed hours, doing dealer to dealer, doing transport, and that's it? So then you can get yourself a nice little vehicle to just take roll-on vehicles and roll off. You know, no need for wheel skates, winches, slippy gyms, whatever. But if you're going into the transport side of things and you're doing it in vehicles that are over 3.5 ton, you will be required to run on operator license and tachograph. So this one seems to get a lot of people out when you're looking online at stuff. So regards to just doing breakdown and accident, you basically can drive tacho exempt if you're within 100 kilometers of your main base. So you don't need to run on tacho and you don't need operators, but that vehicle that's broken down must be taxed, MOT'd and insured, and obviously have a fault with it. If it isn't, such as a brand new shiny Lamborghini that Elon Musk has just bought and he wants it just picking up and dropping off, that classes as transport. So you need to then look at operator license and obviously all your tachos and so forth. But again, if you go onto the DVSA website, it explains quite a lot on there in regards to operator license. So go and check that out. And also, whilst we're talking about tachographs, so again, in breakdown, you are exempt within your 100 kilometers, but if you are planning to go out of that, you'll need to put your tacho card in. And the video here is not talking about tacho and operators, it's just giving you a little bit of a step-by-step guide to try and help you with your decisions, really. I myself just do the accident and breakdown. That is what I prefer, and financially it's better to do those type of jobs. But yes, I do suck it up on the insurance. Transport for me, never really been into it. Every time I go out of area is a time that I tend to break down, and it'll always be when I'm furthest away from home. So transport is just not really me, and I've obviously got a lot of good subcontractors that I do work with who I can obviously pass certain work to, and ones that do run with tacho, operators, so forth, so forth. Vehicles, there's a lot of ways you can try and get out there and start up. So I obviously started up with a 4x4 and trailer. It was okay. It wasn't perfect. It wouldn't do low cars, it wouldn't do big vans, but it was all right. It got me out there. So the most popular one at the minute really is a 4x4 and trailer combination, and you can do the slightly larger cars such as a Ford Focus, a BMW 5 Series, sometimes even another 4x4 on the back. But again, when you go to like a rigid vehicle such as a Ford Transit recovery truck, just a typical 3.5 tonner, you're a little bit more stable when you've obviously got a vehicle on the back, whereas trailers, if you're a little bit too heavy or you don't set it up right, you'll get quite a bit of sway and you can snake and obviously have a bad accident. So everything has advantages and everything has disadvantages. So you've obviously got 4x4 trailer, you've got your traditional little beaver tail recovery truck. So when we talk beaver, we just mean it's flat with a little angle and then obviously your ramps. You've also got tilt and slide recovery trucks, which a lot of you will know about those on my channel. Again, they're a lot better for accident work and breakdown work. You know, you fire it up, put your PTO on, the bed goes down, some go down flat to the ground for your performance and prestige cars. Other ones, the angles are a little bit higher. Tilt and slides are a win, to be honest. They have a lot of advantages and you'll virtually get any job done, providing you know what you're doing in your head with the job in hand. You've also got spec lifts. Spec lifts are very powerful, good for getting into tight areas, car parks, certain places that you can't get a big truck in. Spec lift is basically, obviously, the vehicle itself, and it has an arm, and it basically comes down to the ground, put the car in, lift it up, away you go. Obviously, into the heavy industry, that's not really what I do, but again, you can get some other like bits of ideas of HGV, where nobody really goes straight into the HGV recovery industry on the heavies. Not really. You tend to work your way up to that, but it's not really my thing, so I can't really tell you much more. But there are plenty of other good YouTube channels that will give you a bit of a better insight in regards to the heavy recovery side of things. So that's that. Have I lost out on any other vehicles normally? No, that was about it, to be fair. Then you can go into your specials like the winch checks and all that, but that's kind of relevant. The main thing really, 4x4 trailer, beaver tail, tilt and slide, spec lift. Now, equipment. Equipment is huge. If I was to go back to college, I'd probably just learn to be a plumber, because recovery, you have to have so much stuff. You've got to obviously have your traffic cones, snatch blocks, wheel skates, wheel skids, spare tools, Halford socket set, jack, tools, breaker bar, gloves, clothes. There's loads of stuff that you have to have in a recovery truck if you're doing like roadside jobs for breakdown. And however far we are in this video already, you've got to think insurance, so much per month. I've then got to buy the vehicle, which I'm either going to have to sign up on finance or buy it outright. Not only that, I've then got to buy equipment to put into the truck. What else do you have to have? Servicing your vehicles, maintenance. Maintenance is big. You've got to remember, recovery trucks will break down technically more than your normal car. If you just got your car, you drive to work, you park it up, and you go home, park it up. Recovery trucks, most of the time, when you start your job in the morning and you're using it day, all throughout the whole day, all 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, or 12 hours, whatever, till the moment that you get back to the yard and you turn it off. So those vehicles are getting literally 12 times more use than your traditional car at home. So recovery trucks do break down, and maintenance is absolutely ginormous. So then, to wrap it up on vehicles and maintenance and servicing, you've got to bear in mind monies that you've also got to put all of that aside to maintain your vehicles when it breaks, whether it be a starter motor, battery, alternator, brakes, tyres, engine, gearbox, smashed your windscreen. There's all sorts of things you've got to bear in mind when setting up this vehicle recovery business. And I'm still telling you now, it is hard. I'm going to let you know if you should do it or not very, very shortly. Moving forwards, marketing. It's a simple thing in your head, but you've just bought that recovery truck for £10,000. You're insuring it for £1,000 a month. You've got no work. Where are you getting your work from? So there's a lot of different ways you can try and do it. Personally, the best way is word of mouth. Use your local garages, use your local body shops, get in touch with them, get some business cards, get some leaflets, get some flyers, and just try and approach, you know, your local garages. That is normally, in my opinion, the best way, because they've always got work. There's always vehicles breaking down. They've always got accidents. So that is one form of advertising. Two, you've also got like Google AdWords. I've personally never done it, but I do hear that you can get a lot of calls, but you also get a lot of spam, and you're wasting a lot of money on these like pay-per-clicks. You've obviously got Thompson Local, you know, the search engine on Google. You've got Yell.com, like the old Yellow Pages. And I think there's a few other websites, like, is it Bing or something or other? There's a few other ways, and then you've got traditional social media like your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. For me, for example, it does work for me. And also, you need a website, so you can't just rely on having your name and number in the local post office or whatever. You need to have a website in this day and age. I myself actually have several websites. I don't use just one. So you've got to try and work with the times. Such, for example, I've got, well, let me actually rephrase, quite a while back. Obviously, I've got my GDB rescue and recovery.co.uk, which is obviously my brand, my name. But again, if you're thinking of setting up locally, why not have a local name? So let me just take a random place such as London. Okay, GDB London Recovery, or GDB Rescue and Recovery London. Or what about if I'm on Google and I break down in London, M25 Vehicle Recovery, boom, that could be a good website if somebody doesn't have it already. Or www.londonbreakdownrecovery.co.uk, bang. It's trying to work smart with the internet. So I'm not going to give everything away, but I'm going to give you a little summit. So just think about that. You either have your initials, AAR Recovery, GDB, WR Recovery, whatever. But if I'm breaking down on the motorway, and I need help, what am I going to type in on that internet? M6 vehicle recovery, M6 mobile tyres, Slough breakdown recovery, car recovery, Birmingham. Think about it. So you've got to work with the internet. So you have breakdown clubs such as RAC, AA, Green Flag, National Breakdown, One Call Rescue, Vehicle Rescue Network, AXA Insure, loads. So there are opportunities that you can get work without having to use your local garages, your body shops, or the internet. There are other ways to get contractor work. I don't know if I'm going to be able to cover everything because I don't actually do any contractor work anymore, but if you have other certifications as time goes on, such as Pass 43, which is obviously like a requirement to kind of like maintenance service for trucks, having so many cones, equipment. It's another accreditation that basically looks good on your name. You've gone through a certain checklist and it ticks it off, and breakdown companies recognise that, such as obviously the big three. I can't fully cover it, but by getting that contractor work, it's great, but it doesn't always pay the bills, but it is a nice little top me up. Last time I was doing breakdown work, it was like, just for an example, this is you'd get like a call out charge of £40 plus VAT. You'd have to travel within 20 miles of doing that. So you could obviously drive to one end of town and the other, be within 20 miles from your yard, 20 miles total mileage, and then they'd pay you like £1.10 a mile after that. Rates have probably changed now. The money was not great when I was doing it, and it's probably not a lot greater now with the price of diesel and fuel, but it gives you a little bit of an idea that you can get contractor work. And what that would consist of is such a vehicle non-start home address. So you'd obviously go out there in a little service van, have a little look, check it out, see if you can get it started. 9 times out of 10, if a vehicle breaks down at home, you'll normally get it started, such as a battery or a starter motor, 9 times out of 10. But obviously if a vehicle cuts out whilst you're driving on the motorway, probably need a recovery truck for that, because you can't always get things going when they've cut out like that. But it gives you an idea that there is other work that you can get, so contractor work is definitely worth looking at. You get in touch with the big company, send them an email, and sometimes they'll put you in touch with the certain department that deals in taking on new agents. So that is another area where you can get some work as well. So again, you've got to bear in mind advertising. It's not just buy a truck, get it insured, off you go. And what else you need? If you don't know what you're doing, you need a little bit of training as well. And the good news is, I say good news, it's not really great, because you can literally buy a truck today and you can go and do a job roadside. There is no physical governing body in vehicle recovery. Some people might think, oh great, you know, that saves a little hoop, but you need to know what you are doing at the roadside. Even people on my YouTube, oh my God, he doesn't know what he's doing, whatever. But there are places out there where you can get your certificates and qualifications. You've obviously got a company called, well, a group called the IVR, Institute of Vehicle Recovery. So you can obviously go onto their website, but basically go on there, get in touch with them, and they can put you in touch with basically like another local recovery firm where they'd like do training days, and they'll talk to you about using a winch, wearing gloves, loading a vehicle, unloading, strapping it down, using your ratchet straps. So there are definitely, well, I definitely recommend that you do it, to be fair, because it's worth it. Absolutely covers everything. So IVR, Institute of Vehicle Recovery, go check them out and have a little bit of a gander. But you do need to bear in mind that when you are in this industry, and if you're doing the accident and breakdown, you need to think, am I well enough? Does my brain allow me to cut out, say, some of the emotions? Is it emotions or feelings working at the side of the road? Because trust me, you see it on the television, I could do that. But when you're standing at the side of that motorway and you've got like less than half a metre to work with, it ain't for everybody, trust me. It takes a special set of people who work on those roadsides every single day. And you are putting your life in the risk. Well, putting your life at risk. You literally are. You can be the most trained and top of qualifications, but one day, that lorry driver, that car driver, that motorbike, they might be in a world of their own and swerve into you. So no matter how good your training is, your time is very limited in this industry. I'll be honest, there's been lots of fatals already. Not going to go into that side, but bear in mind, it's a very, very dangerous industry. And you can always be watching the traffic, but it just takes that one or that split eye to be gone, boom, that's it, you're done. So it's not the safest of industries. And talking of that, again, people say, how do you split your time in that? Well, if you're going to be committed to 24/7, generally you are 24/7. It's only me recently after a relationship breakup that, you know, I'm starting to realise that there is more there than there is to just working in a breakdown. So that's why I'm trying to take a little bit of time, not fully time off, but I'm trying in my head to give me that little break that I never would have before, because I was too focused on the mission all the time, go, go, go. And that's not really what the mission is about. It's, you know, spending time with your family, loved ones and children, and that's life, you know what I mean? So I've been committed to my business. I'm happy with where things are. Obviously, I've got Ryan now, who's on the books, and he's helping me get by day to day, and it does take a lot of pressure off. It honestly does. It doesn't mean when you first set up, go get someone, because trust me, it ain't that easy. But luckily I've got a good workload. I've looked after garages, I've looked after customers for a long time, and to be fair, it's now 15 plus years. It's now kind of paying off that I don't need to be on Google, I don't need to be on Yelp, and again, having the YouTube, it honestly really does work wonders. But yeah, social life, it ain't an industry where you're gonna have a great social life, and the best jobs are always the jobs that are last thing at night or first thing in the morning when you can't be bothered because it's too early to wake up, or it's also too late at night and you don't want to get back out of bed. So it's not sociable. And you're probably thinking, Greg, why do you still do it? Well, I've been doing this since I was virtually like 19 years old, kind of on and off, casual to begin with, and I'm just kind of stuck with it. You know, it has fun though, but there are ups. It's not all negative. So you will have good times, you will have good fun doing the job. If you enjoy vehicles, there's lots of little advantages, like, I don't know, say for example, somebody wants to scrap the car or whatever. Sometimes you might say, I'll do the vehicle recovery for free if I keep the car, and I'll scrap it within 48 hours, whatever. Few perks there. You get to meet some nice customers, and also you meet some not so nice customers, but that's just kind of the way how things are. But I enjoy it. Good news is that every day is different. No day is ever the same for the work that I do of accident and breakdown. You literally don't know what your next call is, or what your next text message is, or what your next email is. You physically do not know. And obviously as times progress with me doing this and doing a lot on social media, being out there, my workload is good, I enjoy it. And when you get like people that email you, such as like your BBC Midlands Today to be on there for, you know, your recovery or your tyre fitting, having emails off Channel 5 to do programs such as the Smart Motorway Hotel. No, was it the Smart Motorway Hotel? No, the Motorway Hotel with the Moat House. And then there was another program like last year, which was Smart Motorways, The Hidden Truth. And then obviously people that have emailed me to like do podcasts. So I enjoy it, you know, where I am now, I'm happy, pretty healthy. And yeah, things are good. I'm generally happy with how things are. Summer's here, so at the minute when I'm quiet, because I have quiet patches too, it's trying to get on top of maintenance. So some of the jobs that you put off in winter thinking, oh, I needed to change that or do this, now's my time. I'm trying to get prepared for winter season, because my favourite season is obviously winter season. For customers, it's their worst season, because that's where you have accidents, breakdowns, slipping and sliding, coming off the road. You have the bad weather such as the snow, the ice, the rain, the floodwater jobs. But yeah, overall, I'm happy where I'm at now. But for you guys at home watching this, there's a lot of things in this that you kind of need to think about. It's not that easy. And the honest answer, would I set up a vehicle recovery business in 2025? The answer is no, I wouldn't. I think there's a lot better things out there. Personally, for me, and I probably still would today, I always wanted a car wash garage, because I just think the sheer volume of vehicles that pass in that summer period, and as long as you're not on a water meter and you've got a couple of good guys, how long does it take to clean a car and you've got 2, 3 or 4 people? It's literally 5 or 10 minutes, and you're converting 5, 10, 15, 20 pound a wash. Personally for me, I would love a car wash garage, and yeah, it could still be a goal of mine, but you've got to find the right location. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I think I'm going to wrap it up about there. There will be a lot of questions still, I'm sure, and loads of things I've not covered, but I just wanted to try and put a little something out there whilst I've got the time, whilst my lad Ryan's out doing a few jobs, that I then try and reply to a lot of your comments within this video. If there's anything else that I've severely missed, just please forgive me. I have a lot that goes on in this brain, but drop a comment below. Tell me what you think of the video, if you like it or you don't like it. Any of the questions that I've kind of missed off, you are welcome to drop a comment and I will try to reply for you. But yeah, I wouldn't set up a recovery business in 2025, not how the way things are going. And the biggest reason is insurance, to be fair. and hope that we don't have another fuel strike again or whatever with diesel and petrol coming into the country, because if we don't, we're struggling, because we ain't running on electric just yet. We're far from it. So yeah, that's it. To be fair, I'm going to wrap it up at that. Just want to say a big thanks to everyone that supports the channel, watches it, all your likes, subscribes, comments, all the people that are buying the merchandise on the website and the clothing, and again, everyone who's been entering the raffles, which is a fairly new thing for me. Again, raffles help cover the overheads and the running costs of YouTube, because it's not free of charge, I have to pay, but having the little raffles, it helps. So all those little £1, 75p's, £2.50s, it all helps keep the channel going, and I can keep delivering some videos to you as well. So even if you didn't win, I really do appreciate the support, and Will thanks you very much from the bottom of his heart too. So yeah, that's about it. That's a wrap. If you like what you see, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon. Stay tuned, Sunday, 6 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Mr. GDB, over and out. Okay, let's go.